Alright, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for watching my piano cover of Nothing Left to Lose, and for the nice comments as well. In case you didn't read the description of it, I got a little confession. I have in fact been watching Tangled the series, and before you judge too harshly, let me just tell you, it's actually quite the epic Disney adventure. It's as epic a Disney adventure as any other animated Disney movie. It's like Avatar: The Last Airbender in terms of epic adventure, but just Disney-fied and with musical numbers. Yeah, I meant that. So it got me thinking, while we're still in quarantine and no big movies are coming out still, let's talk about this awesome Disney movie. Tangled. So Tangled came out around Thanksgiving in 2010, so 9.5 years ago. And really the way I see it, it was like the first movie of Disney's new renaissance. I mean, yeah, they'd done a couple other CG animated movies before, but none of them were really memorable. They hadn't hit their stride yet, who are we kidding? So Disney was like, well, let's just take it back to princesses and castles and everything people used to love about us. And to start off, we're gonna take on the German fairy tale of Rapunzel. You know, the classic fairy tale of Rapunzel, let down your hair. Tangled is Disney's version of that. We have Rapunzel, who just turned 18. She's voiced by Mandy Moore. She's been locked up in this tower her whole life and never allowed to leave, so yeah, it's like she's been in quarantine for 18 years. Imagine that. You think we got it bad now? 18 years. And it's her entire childhood. She's being kept safe by her mother, Mother Gothel, voiced by Donna Murphy, because Rapunzel's 70 feet of long golden hair possesses a magical quality to heal. So Mother Gothel's like, I'm just gonna keep this hair for myself and remain young forever. But one day, this thief rogue adventurer named Flynn Rider, voiced by Zachary Levi, stumbles into this tower, he meets Rapunzel, and so now the two of them are gonna go on an adventure. And it's a really fun adventure, but alright, first I gotta tell you the story of when I first saw this movie. Because the marketing leading up to it showcased it as a fun Disney adventure, but it left out one big huge thing that's very important. This movie has musical numbers. It's a Disney princess musical movie like all the originals. I didn't know that going in, because the trailers never said that there were going to be songs in this movie. I was in 10th grade at the time, so it was around the time where I had to put on the mask of I'm too cool for those kiddie Disney movies. And the worst part is I believed it too. At the time, I didn't know it was okay to like them. So I walked into the movie, I sat down, and then Rapunzel started singing. And I was just like, oh no, I just walked into a kiddie Disney little girl princess movie. And I honestly hated it after that. And for the next few years, I was like, Tangled? Oh, pfft. But then when Frozen was coming out, I was ahead of the curve. Again, the trailers didn't show that there were going to be musical numbers, but I knew there would be because that's how Tangled was. And then after I watched Frozen and loved it, I went back to Tangled and I was like, maybe I should give this movie another try. So I watched it again for the first time in a few years and I loved it. It's a great movie. And the music is a big part of that. The music was written by Disney veteran Alan Menken, with help from fellow musician Glenn Slater. And they would both actually later go on to do the songs in the TV show. But in this movie, the songs are all really good. I was just watching this movie earlier today, and when it got to that scene where they start singing At Last I See the Light, I was like, this song is beautiful, man. The lyrics are really sweet. It shows both their points of view leading up to that moment. The melody is great. It's just a really great, sweet moment. But don't get me wrong, this movie isn't all happy, smiley, sweet all the time. There are also some really good action scenes. That big old action scene when the aqueduct, I think it is, where Rapunzel's swinging on her hair like a vine, and Flynn is using a frying pan to fight a horse with a sword, and he's all like, you should know this is the strangest thing I have ever done. That line always cracks me up. I've never seen a frying pan as a weapon, but it's pretty easy to see now. Just bonk. You could give someone traumatic brain damage with this thing. And that's actually another strong aspect of this movie is Zachary Levi as Flynn Rider. Talk about charisma, man. I mean, it's Zachary Levi, so it's a no-brainer. He's fun, you just want to hang out with that dude. But as the movie goes on, you learn more about him and his backstory. He's more than just a con artist. He's a human being with tragedies in his life. So you end up relating to him too. And of course, Mandy Moore as Rapunzel. She is pretty much your stereotypical Disney princess in that she's happy, smiley, cheery all the time. She's a huge optimist. She'll go up to a group of ruffians and thugs and turn them into a dancing crew singing about their dreams. That's just the effect that Disney princesses have on the world around them. But again, you do get it. You know, she's been in quarantine for her entire life, 18 years. Now that she is finally leaving her tower, she's like, I'm gonna have some fun. And you're having fun with her, and Flynn ends up having fun, and it's all fun. And there are a couple of animal characters that are pretty main characters. Pascal the chameleon, who's Rapunzel's best friend, and Maximus the horse, who is a security horse of the Kingdom of Corona. This Kingdom of Corona, which is where the king and queen are, they have lost their daughter, who is the lost princess, who is Rapunzel. There is actually a lot of lore behind it. Lore that the TV series really dives into. Yeah, after this movie came out, of course, there was a franchise that came after it because, hello, it's Disney. They do that with all their animated movies. There was a short film called Tangled Ever After, which is the wedding of Rapunzel and Flynn Rider, or I guess I should call him by his real name now. It's kind of a spoiler alert, but, you know, 9.5 years, so Flynn Rider's real name is Eugene Fitzherbert. Now you know. So Tangled Ever After is the wedding of Rapunzel and Eugene. But then, years after that short came out, Disney decided to go, you know know what? Let's make a 2D TV series that takes place after the movie and before the short film. Adventures in Corona with Rapunzel and Eugene and Cassandra. Cassandra, who is Rapunzel's lady-in-waiting, her handmaiden, and don't even try to tell me that Cassandra isn't best girl. I don't mean to turn this video into one about the TV series, this is about the movie, but I'm just saying Cassandra is pretty much the reason I got into the show in the first place, because she's awesome, but moving on. All I'm saying is Tangled the movie and the whole franchise that follows is really fun. It's epic, fun Disney adventure that you've come to expect from Disney at this point. Cause let's face it, every movie that Walt Disney Animation has done after Tangled has been memorable. Wreck-It Ralph, Big Hero 6, Moana, Zootopia, Frozen, they've all been huge hits. And to me, that started right here with Tangled. A great, super fun Disney adventure with relatable characters, great music, super cool action scenes. The animation is, I don't want to say dated, it's just not as detailed as Disney animated movies are now. Like, you look at the whole aqueduct scene where the water's coming down, the dam breaks, and it's this big flood, and you're like, well, that water animation isn't as good as it is in Moana or Frozen 2, but it's still not bad. It looks fine. I'm just saying, though. So yeah, if you're one of those people where you're like, I need to hide that side of me that can like fun Disney movies because I'm a man, I say get off your high horse, get with the times, and have fun with a fun Disney movie. If you don't, then you're just missing out. So Tangled, have you seen it? What do you think about it? And here's a big question. What is your favorite Disney animated movie of the last decade? For me, it would have to be Moana. Still waiting on the announcement of a sequel. But whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe.